Today on Forbes, the Seahawks are Super Bowl champs, but their owner can't profit from the big win. Jody Allen could hardly contain her excitement on Sunday night, repeatedly shouting, quote, "Let's go," from the on-field stage. This was after her Seattle Seahawks had handily defeated the New England Patriots 29-13 in Super Bowl 60. Over roars from a raucous crowd of Seattle fans at Levi's Stadium in California, the Seahawks' 67-year-old chairwoman said, quote, "It has truly been a magical season from the very first game to tonight here in Santa Clara." And while winning a championship was more than enough reason to celebrate, Jody Allen also had a little more at stake. It may be the first and only time she has an opportunity to raise the Lombardi Trophy. That has nothing to do with Seattle's prospects on the field. After tying for the NFL's best record in the regular season and delivering a dominant Super Bowl performance worthy of the defense's, quote, "dark side" nickname, the Seahawks are already favorites to repeat as champions in 2027, according to sportsbook FanDuel. However, the franchise is owned by the estate of Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen, who bought the Seahawks for $194 million in 1997, saved them from a potential move to Los Angeles, and died in 2018 from complications of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And NFL rules prevent estates, foundations, and trusts from holding equity stakes in the league's franchises. There is no hard and fast rule about when a sale must occur, but many league insiders believe that time is coming very soon, especially after the expiration of a provision from the construction of the Seahawks' home stadium, Lumen Field, that required that 10% of any sale proceeds be shared with the state of Washington. With NFL valuations soaring to an average of $7.1 billion this season, Seattle's price tag is expected to surpass the $6.7 billion that Forbes estimated for the Seahawks in 2025. No matter how high the bidding goes, though, Jody Allen, the estate's executor, won't see any of the profits. Her brother's will called for his sports assets, which also include the NBA's Portland Trail Blazers and a 25% stake in MLS's Seattle Sounders, to be sold and the proceeds donated to charity. Allen has already facilitated an agreement to sell the Trailblazers to Carolina Hurricanes owner Tom Dundon for a reported $4.25 billion, a deal that is expected to close this spring. If the Seahawks truly are next on the block, then Seattle gave its acting owner a more than fitting send-off. Sports Corp president Mark Gannis, who is often called the NFL's so-called 33rd owner because of his consulting firm's close ties to football's decision-makers, said last week, quote, "Even if Jody's time as control owner has been unconventional in some ways, I don't know how anyone could look at her tenure as being anything but successful." Of course, the Seahawks' transformation into Pacific Northwest royalty would have never been possible if Paul Allen hadn't come to the franchise's rescue nearly 3 decades ago. The team was previously owned by real estate developer Ken Behring, who was frustrated with the Kingdome, then the Seahawks' home stadium, and began eyeing a move to Los Angeles. He even went as far as to transfer the club's operations to Anaheim in 1996. But the Kingdome's lease, which was set to run for another 9 years, and the threat of daily 6-figure fines from the NFL, thwarted any potential move. The league quickly found an ideal candidate to replace Behring in Allen, a Seattle native who had scored a perfect 1,600 on his SATs, dropped out of Washington State University, and made a fortune by co-founding Microsoft with Bill Gates in 1975. A cancer diagnosis 8 years later prompted his departure from the company, and he eventually shifted his energy to the sports world. As a passionate basketball fan, he bought the Blazers in 1988 for $70 million. After Behring's failed attempt to move the Seahawks down the Pacific Coast, Allen bought the franchise in 1997 at a then-record $194 million valuation. 5 years later, the franchise had a new home at what is now called Lumen Field, with Allen personally footing $130 million of the $430 million bill. Success followed quickly. During Allen's tenure, the Seahawks reached the Super Bowl twice, winning in February 2014 behind head coach Pete Carroll, quarterback Russell Wilson, and the vicious so-called Legion of Boom defense that featured star defensive backs Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, and Cam Chancellor. For full coverage, check out Justin Birnbaum's piece on forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.